1963. Stitter, medium Leslie Flint.
You're late, aren't you?
Well, we are a bit later, probably than usual, Mickey.
How does he know?
I don't know.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
He's preserving the power. Look, his voice is so soft. Is that true, Mickey? The way we talked to him, really, one would think he was a child. I thought it's the shock of our lives, and we really saw him as he really is, wouldn't we?
Mm.
Mm. Have you started it? No.
Yes, I've started.
Oh,
Good evening.
good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Good.
Who's that?
Wait a moment. Do speak on. Wonder that's Drayton Thomas.
I don't know.
I can hear you very well. Please speak on, will you? I don't think you should say who is that and this and that. You should wait a little, Mammals. Do speak, friend, will you?
Hello.
Hello.
Don't know if you can hear.
Yes, I can hear you, Frédéric.
Well, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm very well.
You
Somebody
are very-
tried to come through.
Oh, did they try to speak to you? Huh?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it was one of the others, the scientists or something.
Oh,
Possibly. Huh?
oh.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Hello.
I think somebody switched the light on in the entrance. The light's coming through the door. Is that door shut? Push it, Rose, with your hand.
It is shut. I've shut it.
Have you pushed it? Pushing it?
No, I can't reach to push
Oh.
it.
All right, don't bother.
It is properly shut.
Is it? There's a crack down the side of the door. It must come. The light's probably someone's put the landing light on, your staircase light, and it's coming through the fan light.
Don't worry about it. Forget it. Don't upset the conditions.
All right, Frédéric.
Well, and what were you trying to play?
To play? When?
The other day, yesterday, I think it was.
I can't play at all nowadays. When I go from side to side, I have no strength. Can't put anything into it. Are you there?
Hold on. All in good time, don't worry.
Who was that before Frédéric? Mickey?
Wonder what's happened.
I wonder if that was a scientist. If it was William Crookes.
Oh, stay here.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear properly.
yes, I can hear you very clearly now, Frédéric. I've just heard you. Can you hear me? I was still trying to speak because I can't hear anything. Yes?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hello?
I don't think that's possible.
But I don't know either. It's all like that.
Just a moment.
We can hear voices, but not the words.
Reuben?
Yes?
Reuben?
What?
Someone said Reuben. I thought they said Reuben or something.
What are you trying to say, friend? We can't hear very clearly. Try again.
Reuben?
Somebody said Reuben.
I don't know anybody, Reuben.
Sounds like Reuben to me. You sound just like one of my ordinary clients, the way you said that.
Yes? Are you there, Fred? Hello? There was a whispering going on, I think, some woman and the man.
Hmm.
I'm still here. I'm sorry there has been a little interference, but I think it is all right now. You can hear me all right.
Yes, I can hear you all right.
Good. There's a little difficulty, but I think we have cleared it.
Oh, that's why you're there.
Of course I am here.
Lovely.
I'm not just only here to clear, but
Yes.
because I want to talk with you. I mean, I don't want to disappoint you.
Oh, it's all
Can
right.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I know. I don't have to hear exactly. I can tell what you're thinking before you say often,
Yes.
Sometimes your thoughts reach me quicker than your words.
Oh, yes.
That is interesting,
Very.
I wish you could realize what that means.
I wish I could, Frédéric.
What shall we talk about?
Mm.
You asked me something. I can't think clearly tonight.
You can't?
Not at the moment, anyway. I don't seem to be able to clear my mind. At least, how you say, I don't know how to think. So, well, what shall we speak about?
Well, if you find it difficult, Frédéric, don't trouble.
Oh, don't be so silly.
Really?
You are always so kind.
No,
if
it's
you
not.
think it is going to be difficult, you think to yourself, poor darlings, better not to bother. Wait until it is easier for you.
Well, I can well imagine how difficult it must be.
Oh, sometimes it is extremely difficult. Sometimes it is quite impossible. But I don't like to disappoint you.
Is that because of the vibrations? The vibrations are cutting through or something?
Oh, it is sometimes as if there's too much activity, too much differing vibration, too much confusion, you know. Sometimes it is not like that. Other times it is difficult. There seem to be several people here tonight who seem to be, I don't know, they seem to be impinging.
Oh, I see. Oh. And you don't want them to impinge, is that it?
No, I like a clear channel.
Oh, yes.
Of
yes.
course I like a clear channel. Do you not? You like it best, I do.
Yes.
No confusion, no interference, no cross vibrations. You are much better today, huh?
Yes, thank you, Frédéric. I'm very much better. Getting on quite
Dr.
nice.
Marshall has been constantly with your friends.
Oh, yes.
He is very concerned about her.
I wonder if she's going to pass away or if she's going to get better.
Well, I don't know, but it seems that she slipped back so.
Yes.
And then she seemed to get on a little. I think it is going to be a very long time before she can be really well, unless something happened, you know, I don't know. It is very uncertain.
It was all so sudden, wasn't it?
These things often are so sudden. And I think, I don't know, Dr. Marshall seemed to think that she had several good warnings, but she did not take no notice.
Yes, I think so.
She ignored them, you know. She sort of think, you know. She, like so many people, she thinks it's nothing, and they
Yes.
carry on much the same, you know.
Yes. I don't know what to say tonight,
I don't know what to say either. I think we are both in the boat the same.
We'll get the medium to talk.
Oh,
Let
goodness,
him
don't
talk.
ask me to talk. I don't know what to talk about.
Is Dr. Marshall there?
No.
He's not there. Well, it's no use asking questions which want long answers or anything like that. I don't want you to have to think hard. The extraordinary part of it is, Frédéric, you say there's so many people around. Don't they bump up against each other?
No, not in that sense. No. Dear, how funny you can be sometimes. And yet I suppose when you look at it from the material thought, you know, it is so strange that we don't bump into each other, or we don't get in the way, you know. You think the room is not big enough, and it is that the room itself is unimportant. The size, the walls which are solid to you are not solid to us.
But they must take up space. Crowds must take up space, mustn't they?
Crowds must take up space, huh? Well, I don't know. How do you say? Have you ever seen a flight of thousands of birds that are migrating?
Yes, but then they're migrating in space.
Well, we are in space.
Yes.
1,000 birds
Yes.
in the atmosphere is like a grain of the sand in the desert.
Yes, but when you enter a room like this, for instance,
But we don't enter
you don't
it.
enter, no.
We become conscious of it, which is an entirely different thing.
Are you conscious of this room at the moment, or are you in it?
Both.
Eh?
Both.
You're in it.
You are only in something when you're conscious of it. When you're unconscious, you're not there.
Oh dear. dear, I am a fool. Honestly, I wish I...
Don't you understand what I'm trying to convey?
Yeah.
When we become conscious of your desire to communicate with us,
Yes.
then we come to you. When we come to you through your consciousness of the room, we are conscious of the room.
Oh, I see. You're not in the room, but
We are not
through our thoughts.
through your mentality, through your thoughts and your consciousness of your conditions and your room, we are conscious of your room through you.
Yes.
But to us, the room is non-existent because it is solid and material and is entirely different to our own atmosphere and condition and vibration. In other words, we are only conscious of things through consciousness.
But
And we receive consciousness of the solidity of your world through your thoughts. But that does not necessarily make it solid to us, so it is solid to you.
Now, at this moment, as you're talking to me, Frédéric, are you conscious of where you are?
I am conscious of being here, in this house.
Yes.
And I'm conscious of being in this room through your consciousness and the medium's consciousness. Now you see, this is important because a lot of people don't understand this. I talk about this consciousness of the medium. And of course, in communication, one of our main desires is not to have the consciousness of the medium.
Yes.
In other words, that is our big problem. People always say, oh, well, of course, you know, the medium's thoughts enter into the communication. Sometimes it disturbs and destroys it. That is perfectly true. But at the same time, we have to have the consciousness of the medium or the sitters, and sometimes more so the medium. Otherwise, we could not become, as it were, conscious of the conditions. We could not become conscious of the communication that we want to convey to you. In other words, we must have a focal point. Do you understand?
Yes, but then once or twice when I've asked you, can you see me? You say, of course I can see you.
Of course I can see you. Oh dear, you are complicated.
Yes.
Of course I can see you. But I see you in a sense, not so much physically, but I see you mentally.
Oh.
You see, I don't. Now, there again, you see, that is another argument. People talk about the conscious contact. But we can only be conscious so far. We can be conscious through the mind and the condition and the thought of the medium. We can be conscious through the mind and the condition of the seeker, the person who is wanting the communication. After all said and done, now for instance,
Yes.
If a certain person wants to make a communication,
Yes.
shall we say for argument's sake, it is a mother of a person
Yes.
who is unknown to the medium.
Yes.
It is only because the seeker is anxious for the communication with the mother that the mother makes a contact with the seeker. And when the seeker goes to a medium, it is because the mother is able to contact indirectly, as it were, through the medium. But it would not be possible if it were not for the fact the seeker makes the possibility by their link with the communicator. For instance, you might say to me, oh, I would love to speak to a certain person, but I cannot go and find that person necessarily. Sometimes it is possible, but quite often it is not. If that person on this particular side wants to make a communication and becomes conscious of your thought force and is interested and anxious to make a communication, the fact that you have made it possible by the power of the love and the thought that you send out, it is the same story that we've tried to tell you all along. It is the power of love, it is the thought force that makes all things possible. What is a reality or solidity to you in regard to your material world
Yes.
is insignificant to us. What is reality to us is the conscious thought of the individuals, such as yourself wanting to make contact with me or some other soul. And it is through your consciousness, through your ability, unconscious though it may be, to draw us to you. And then once we are in your conditions, we become to some extent conscious of your thoughts, more material, And in consequence, we are, through the aid of an instrument or a medium, able to make a contact. But there again, we are limited to a certain extent as to what we can convey by the very conditions under which we have to endeavor to communicate, which are the conditions that you and the medium create by your thought force. If your thought force is strong, and if you are thinking, shall we say, on a plane of thought which enables us to communicate in an intelligent manner, or a sympathetic manner, or it may be a spiritual manner, then we can do so. That is why people don't understand. You know, there is a saying that sometimes people say, oh, I don't know, I got so-and-so through, and I get this through. But it was not very good. Maybe it was on a very material level. But if those people, when they sit, are very wavering in their attitude of mind towards the subject, and they are not, shall we say, very sympathetic, or perhaps they are seeking certain information which is on a particular level of a material nature, that will all affect the sitting, and they will receive to some extent exactly what they themselves supply in the thought force. In other words, it is the thought force of the sitters that chiefly make a sitting, as you call it, a success or a failure.
But when there is big sounds, for instance, a big gathering at a sounds, isn't it very confusing for all of you?
That is, of course, one of the great difficulties. I mean, of course, there are two ways of looking at this. If you have a large group of people who are experienced, who are very sympathetic, and who are harmonious, then, of course, the added power that is blended with so many people makes communication much simpler, much easier. It is a wonderful thing, but it so seldom happens. But when you have the usual circle of 7, 8, 9 people or more, who are all sort of thinking very selfishly, perhaps on a rather material line, and they are all sort of sending out thoughts for things appertaining to themselves, and they are not concerned or anxious for other people. In other words, if they are sort of sending out thoughts which in themselves, are selfish, then it is all very complicated and difficult. And of course we must remember this too, that as we are drawn to the earth by love and by the desire for communication, so sometimes people who are perhaps near the earth will be more conscious, shall we say, of the conditions of earth, and in consequence, when the conditions are set for a séance, such as this, by the power that is built up by the vibrations and the thoughts of the medium and the sitter or sitters, sometimes it will attract individuals who are not very far removed from us, and who will sometimes be a nuisance.
How do you manage to keep away those who may become perhaps a danger?
Well, that is very seldom, of course. I don't think even that we can consider there's any danger in the sense of danger as such. But what we must remember, and I think everyone should remember and know, is in this whole business, that fundamentally it must be and can only be the power of thought. If I want to speak to you, it is my thoughts that are transmitted to you. The voice box merely reconstructs to some extent some part of my personality through the voice itself, which may, and after all, the voice itself cannot be completely a natural thing. It is artificially reproduced. In any case, what is the voice? There is no such thing. That is another illusion, in a sense. But it is a vibration of the atmosphere.
That may be, but how is it that one can recognize voices as soon as they come?
Well, what you are recognizing is not so much in a sense of voice, but the personality. It is true that you get a different inflection and timbre of the voice, everything, but what I'm trying to, that is of course with experienced communicators usually.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to convey is that one must remember that all the time the substance that is used for building the replica of the larynx and the vocal organs is drawn chiefly from the medium, but there is some contribution also from a sitter or sitters, and that is all the time a live thing. It is a vibrating thing, a pulsating thing, and a lot of effort is made by the scientists to keep that in action. Well, don't forget, this is something which affects everybody, because although it is a sort of living substance drawn chiefly from the medium, there is also a contribution made by the sitter, a contribution made by the people on this side who are molding it and utilizing it and blending it, and possibly, and quite often it is possible, sometimes something of themselves can become intermingled. In other words, for instance, somebody may come and speak, and there may be others standing in the background who are assisting with their power and their thoughts, and sometimes you have a merging of personality. There is a subtlety of change. It is sometimes very subtle, you know.
I've noticed one thing. If the medium has a cold, for instance, and is rather nasal, the spirit voices have the same.
Well,
why is that? Is it because you
I think that is possibly simply explained by the fact that after all, this is, once it is yours, for instance, we call this, what you say, physical phenomena. In other words, it is something that is brought into physical being. And therefore, if we are using some force, something of the medium, which we must do, then there must be a physical atmosphere condition around it.
And
the
also
auric emanation around the medium varies and changes and fluctuates constantly.
And also when you're, I can hear the breath sometimes.
Well, that is natural.
Not very often, but sometimes.
That is understandable, because to create sound by the larynx, there must be breaths. And we use chiefly the breath from the medium. And that is why it is always difficult, I suppose, for the medium to hold communication at the same time. It is done, but it is difficult.
It's interesting.
And yet it is so simple in a way, but it is very complex to people who just don't understand and don't go into the details of these.
Oh, I like to know the details of everything. I wish to goodness I could be behind the scenes and see what the scientists are doing, not that I'd understand anything at all.
Well, I don't know how one can describe this exactly. How could one possibly explain it? I mean, science, as I understand, has been able to create artificial sounds in your world. And in a sense, that's what we're doing, creating artificial sounds, but they sound, as far as we can make them, natural to you.
I think there would be more knowledge or more belief in these things if your scientists who are over there could make some sort of instrument like the television. Look how everybody crowds for the television. They're so taken up with it, they never question it or anything.
Well, yes, I know, but can you imagine what chaos it would be and how dreadful it would be if everybody were rushing to their television sets every night at 8 o'clock to talk to Fred and Charlie? Good heavens, we would never have any peace. You wouldn't give me any peace, thank God there is no such thing.
Oh, I wouldn't.
No.
Oh. No, I'd give you peace, Frederick.
I have a sense of the humour, thank God. But can you imagine if you have a set in your bedroom? Every night you'll be there lying in your bed saying, come on, Freddy.
No, but why I would like that is because, you see, through a human being,
I know why you
those
say
skeptics, they say, oh, there have ventriloquists and this and that and the other. They wouldn't get a chance in that then.
Well, I don't know. I think there are plenty of ways of proving it isn't ventriloquism. After all said and done, if you make the medium incapable of speech, then how can it be ventriloquism?
No, but they can't see in the dark. Oh, I'd love the whole world to know about this without suspicion. That's my trouble.
I don't think you will have that satisfaction. There will always be suspicion among people, not only about this, but everything.
Frederick, Valentino told me that the scientists are so interested in their work on the other side that they don't much care what happens to the medium.
Well, I think that is so with some, but not with all.
I hope not.
I think with certain scientists who are very near the Earth, perhaps that is
Yes,
so. But
yes.
the more advanced spiritually, the more spiritually scientific they are, it is a different matter. They would not do anything. In any case, I'm sure that they would not wish to do anything to endanger, for instance, the medium or do anything that was detrimental. In any case, they wouldn't want to. I'm sure they would not think of it.
No. But they should not be allowed, those nearer the earth, to create chaos in the world, to infiltrate all sorts of ideas.
Well, of course, that is natural for you to think like that, but that is possibly because you don't fully realize the natural law behind all things. I mean, one may constantly say, oh, this should not be or that should not be, but everything is subject to natural law. There is no one in a place of dictatorship. There's no one who can command or demand. Everything must be of a natural sequence, and naturally people who have only recently passed over or people who have not progressed very far, they will still think and act accordingly. And if their conditions by their very nature make them be close to Earth, then of course those thoughts can have some effect on people on Earth. But then again, they will only affect the people who are of like mind. That is why it's important and essential for people to try to lift themselves beyond the mundane and the ordinary, to lift themselves in a spiritual sense. That is another reason why, of course, it is most important that when you hold a séance, that you should approach it in the right way, and that you should only be concerned with things that are of importance spiritually. I mean, you should not just play with it. A lot of these people, they just play with it and look upon it as a way to...
Excitement.
Well, you know how.
Yes.
Well, of course they will attract people who will not be of any help to them.
How are Mummy and Theo getting on, all right?
Oh, they are often here. I have seen them. You must think of them a lot.
I do.
I know that they often come to you, and I'm sure they are looking forward to you joining them. But it is not yet.
How long is it going to be?
I don't know. I can't tell.
You don't tell?
I do not know. I don't see. Possibly a little nearer the time it is possible, yes, but at the moment I don't see no signal of it. I don't see no signal of it.
I don't know, Frédéric. You...
What do you say? You don't know Now what is it you want?
You're a rascal, because I think you know, but you won't say.
What benefit would that be to you if I knew to tell you?
I don't know. All right, never mind.
How do you know that you are coming here yet? You're not coming yet.
No, perhaps I'm not coming yet. I suppose I'd stay for a little while longer.
I think you have some surprises yet to come before you arrive here.
Yes?
Surprises with, well, conditions in your world and people. I don't think you will be coming here yet. Besides, you are enjoying yourself in spite of everything.
I'm happiest when I'm in this room.
Why this room particularly? Because we have our meetings here.
Meetings here?
Well, I like it very much, although in a sense the room itself doesn't matter in a way to me. I am only conscious of it in a sense through you and the medium, but I know that the conditions that you create are important, and therefore I am concerned with the conditions of the room and the conditions that are created in the room, and I think it is a very pleasant atmosphere.
It is pleasant, is it?
Oh, very nice. I like for you to sit here. I like it very much. I'm sure we will have some very happy times here. But you know,
yes,
although the room in a sense is important,
what?
I say although the room in a sense is important, I think we have been able to show you it is not so much the room that
No,
matters.
no.
When you think back,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
I have been very happy coming to you.
Oh, so am I. I'm so happy. Of course, I believe it, Frederick. Of course, I do. But you know.
Now what is it? Now you said. I believe it, Frederick. Of course I do. But now what is the but?
No, but I'm very much better now than I
Can you
used.
please tell me one thing?
Yes.
Is there any one thing that I could do for you that would give you the ultimate conviction then? Because I still feel there are times when you think it is all too good to be true.
Well, I suppose it is from a little child.
No, but if you could give me one thing, if you could think of something that you could ask me to do, something very special perhaps, if I could do it to give you the conviction that obviously I still think sometimes you need.
Of course, if I saw you, but even then I wouldn't know what you really were like.
Well,
You
my goodness me,
now, I've got you now. Where's that lock of hair?
Well, that I admit I have not produced. But supposing it were possible, I'm not saying I'm going to do this, because I don't know, I don't think so, I don't think it may be possible. At one time I thought it might have been. But supposing I could have materialized and you could have cut a lock of my hair off, and it didn't disappear after the meeting, then what?
Oh, I'd keep it then.
Of course, that would convince you.
I do think you would be able to materialize.
Or do you think it would be an hallucination?
No, I wouldn't. If I had it in my hand and I felt it and I saw that it was real hair, of course I'm not so foolish. But do you think it's possible for you to materialize, Frederick?
I had hoped so, and I still hope. But I'm almost afraid now to make prophecies.
Yes.
Because this is such I don't know, this is something that is not so, in a sense, intangible, you know.
Yes,
That
quite
it is
true.
impossible. One day you think it is possible to do something, the next day you think no. And perhaps one day when you least expect it, it will happen.
Yes.
That's how it is. There are times when we come and we can't do anything much. Other times it's so different, we are able to achieve a great deal. I suppose that is to be expected. It can't always be the same. We can't always expect that we can manifest or make contact. Why should it be so?
Yes, that's true.
After all, every night you go to sleep, you don't know if you're going to sleep. Sometimes you don't sleep well, sometimes you sleep very well. Sometimes you travel in your astral body over here. Sometimes you dream funny dreams that don't make no sense. Sometimes you get fed up and you read a book and you put it down, you get up, you make a cup of tea. You never know when you go to bed whether you're going to sleep or what kind of dreams you're going to have. Always it is different. Everything is subject to change.
Yes.
Look at you, up one day, down in the next. Some days you run around almost, sometimes you crawl, sometimes you just sit and hope.
Yes, quite true.
But I look forward so much, as we all do, for the time when you join us. But we know that a little while has yet to elapse, and you must try to be as happy as it is possible for you to be. I think you get a lot of fun out of life in spite of everything.
Oh, yes. I'm happy in a
I
way.
don't like you to be depressed.
Oh, I'm never depressed now.
I like
the quietness and the silence.
I would like very much to do something very spectacular for you.
What
I don't know, but I just feel it would give you such a wonderful feeling if I could.
Yes.
Apart from just coming to speak. Perhaps, who knows, one evening when we are here, it will happen.
I think so. Mickey said it might. Things might happen.
I think so.
Not only Mickey, but...
Well, we can only hope so. I have to go, I'm sorry, but it is a little difficult tonight.
All right.
That you not be disappointed with me.
No,
We all send our love and blessing to you. You know that.
Yes. Give my love to Mummy and
I
Theo.
will. And perhaps soon they come and talk to you again. They should, you know.
And dear old Sam, tell him I haven't forgotten him.
All your friends. I must go. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you for coming, Frédéric.
It must be a bit difficult tonight, but I've done my best. I guess we all have.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
darling. Thank you
Bye-bye,
very much.
Rosie.
Bye-bye, darling.
Bye-bye, love. Do you know, sometimes, Rosie, I still think you do doubt. Do you?
What?
Sometimes I think you do doubt, don't you?
No, I don't doubt, Marvelous,
Well,
but
what
it's
is it
so
that-
marvellous. I don't know. You yourself have said.
Well,
okay.
yes, that's true, but
Oh,
I don't know. You've had such, over the years since I've known you, apart from the years before you knew me, you've had all sorts of evidences of the most extraordinary nature. Well, so have I.
it's not doubt, Marvelous. You know, when anything to you is wonderful, you understand what I mean?
Yes.
As if your brain can't really actually realize that sort of feeling. What? Oh.
Oh, well.
Marvelous, marvelous.
I don't know.
I'm dying to get this bed out of this room. A little later on. Darling, I know he is.
And so are you one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yes?
And two nice people blended together make wonderful harmonious atmosphere.
I know. Didn't Rudolph come and say that wonderful, what? What word did he use now?
Harmony?
No. I've forgotten.
Harmony?
What a long
vibration.
speech he gave, didn't he?
Yes, you were lucky.
Eh?
You were lucky.
He pulls my leg too, you know. I think Frédéric has taught him how to tease. What is happening, Mickey?
Nothing at the moment. I'm talking because I thought you were cross because I wasn't.
No, I was thinking in my mind when you came and you spoke, you were so clear.
Clear as a bell.
And then you went off, and I
Christabel.
wanted to know the reason. Best thing is to just keep quiet.
Yes.
Can't we talk?
Yes.
Oh. Can't you talk to me?
No.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't know.
Relaxez-vous.
All right.
Whatever it is.
I'm only too glad to relax. My poor tape I'm thinking about. We'll lose everything.
Why?
Well, if somebody suddenly starts to say something and the tape is at the end,
Plenty of tape.
he's trying to soothe me down. Ah.
Hello, what is it?
Oh, nothing. We're just sitting quietly. I was afraid the tape might finish.
No, I don't think so. I think it is possible for a little moment, you know. How are you tonight?
I'm all
Did
right.
you think I had forgotten you and that I was not coming to talk with you no more?
No, I didn't think anything. Thank you for sending Rudolph Valentine.
Oh, Monsieur Valentino. Rodolphe.
Eh?
He is an interesting personality. We are very good friends.
I know.
Because, you know, if you're going to get on with this medium, you've got to be good friends with Valentino, so, you know.
Is that so?
No, I'm teasing. No, but it is that he is very much associated, you know, so. And
Yes.
I've met him several times. I find him a very interesting person. He is a very good soul, you know.
Yes, I believe.
What a terrible time that poor man must have had. I should think he was glad to get away from all those women.
Oh, poor Frédéric.
What?
How is it that so many thousands of people are taking such great interest even today? Even young people who have never seen him on the screen.
I don't know. I think it is that, I suppose that there is something which many people were sensitive to but did not quite understand, you know. And also, of course, there are many reasons, I suppose, after all. There are many people who are seeking for escape, you know. Your world is so, how you say, unhappy in so many ways, and so many people find romantic
Yes.
escape, you know, like people in my music, I suppose many people find
Yes.
escape in my music.
Yes.
It is the same sort of thing in a way, you know. After all, we must be grateful in a way that we are able to assist, to help people to have some form of escape from the hard realities of the material world in which you live. In my case, my music. In his case, I suppose, the glamour of his personality and his films, you know, and that
Yes.
sort of thing. I suppose it was a form of escapism for many, many souls who are very heavy, how you say, heavy with so many things of the earth to bear them down, you know.
But there's never been so many thousands and thousands after one man like that.
Well, I don't think they were after him in a sense, but you know, it is romantic, and I suppose he created some image, you know, in their hearts, you know, a symbol of romance. Like my music, it is romantic and symbolic to many people. Many people find in that, my music, a form of escape from the hard realities of the earth.
Yes.
And it is nice to close the doors and shut out the world and just to lose oneself in beauty and sound.
Frédéric, you can shut yourself out from everyone when you get on
Whenever
this.
one wishes, if one wishes to, one can escape, if you can use the expression here, although one doesn't seek to escape exactly, there's no need for it, but one can sort of withdraw oneself and be alone, or to be, if you like, unconscious of the rest of the world in which one exists. If you feel that it is necessary to do that, you can do it. But you see here, life is so different, that it is so peaceful, so placid, you know, that we don't necessarily feel that other people intrude. No one would dream here of intruding upon another person. It is something that you are conscious of within yourself, what is the right time or the right moment, and one would never in any way cause any unhappiness to anyone here, or any pain, or any sort of interference. You know, I mean, here it is all natural law, and we are so much more sensitive even, that we are conscious immediately of the need, shall we say, of silence, or the need for withdrawal if necessary, and no one will intrude on someone who one would know immediately wish to be, as it were, alone, you know, with themselves, if you can understand what I mean.
All of you seem to be one with each other in this way. All of you seem to know everything about each other and everything about people with whom you communicate.
Well, I don't know if we know everything. I suppose in a way that is not quite so. We know everything, shall we say, that it is necessary to know for harmony. Do you understand that?
Yes, but in judging by the communications I have from different people, one will come and say something to me about something, he'll go off, and a few days after that, someone else will come and they say, "Oh, I hear so-and-so about you," and as if they've been chatting with each other.
Oh, well, of course we do chat, as you say, at least we are in contact with one another. And obviously, because we love our friends and we are interested in our friends, and of course when we are concerned with people on earth, then we have to some extent, have to adopt, if you like, some sort of attitude of mind, not unsimilar to the attitude of mind of people on the earth. In other words, we have to, if we are going to discuss people on the earth and their affairs, then we have to enter into those conditions and those affairs, and we have to sort of be on the same mental level to a certain extent to be able to discuss them. Yeah. Of course we do that, but we are more interested naturally not so much in the material aspect of the individuals that we love on earth, but the spiritual and better welfare. Yes, you know, yeah. I mean, that is natural, is it not? But of course sometimes we talk about the ordinary material things, because if we are interested in someone and we love someone on earth, we are anxious to help that person. Sometimes we are compelled, you might say, to enter into that matter of thought and discuss them on that level.
I see.
It is so simple, if only you could understand that we can enter into any condition or any sort of vibration, or we can enter into any sort of particular mental state of any particular individual that we are interested in, if we wish. And that does not necessarily disturb us when we are, shall we say, in our own environment here. To do this, that is to enter the mental state or the condition of a person in a different sphere or upon the earth, then we have to enter into that condition and become part of it and sort of approach it from that particular standpoint or that particular condition of life. And that is not difficult. It is only a matter of changing, for the moment at least, our attitude, our own condition, and enter into the other. We can soon resume our own vibrational condition.